All right, ladies and gentlemen, and others.
Yeah.
You know how like it's becoming like such a real thing now, where it's choose your gender, male,
Of course, of
female,
course.
others.
Yeah, you have to be sort of aware, I
Yeah.
guess.
Imagine you slept in year 2000.
Yeah.
Imagine try to remember where you were in year 2000. Imagine you slept in year 2000 and woke up in 2023. What about the world will shock you the most?
Damn. 2000, how old was I? 2000 was 23 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long
Damn, I
time
was
ago
like
actually.
7. That's a lot. I was like 7. I was really young. So if I'm saying what will shock me about the world, I think it'll be tech mostly. Like,
Mm.
yeah, where tech is today.
What wasn't
Like,
possible then that is possible now? Video call for start,
yeah,
to the extent it is
it is
now.
today. Yeah, 5G.
Yeah, 5G, yeah, man,
Right.
yeah. I mean, that one is still new, so
Yeah.
we would all be surprised together.
Mm-hmm.
But at least 3G and 4G will shock the shit out of you.
Completely. So like all the possibilities of tech today and all the things you can do, like crazy stuff, being able to like transact businesses over countries, like
Yeah.
just from push of a button on your phone. So yeah.
Like literally be in the same space, but not be in the same space.
This is my cat, Shade. Yeah, I don't think she wants to be on the show, so I'll let you go. All right.
She'll cuckoo use her leg and come back. So, odd takes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this says, right?
Yeah,
Odd takes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would just thought to like a lot of like the weirdest of conversations happen in our very personal private spaces together. So we just thought to like, maybe talk about stuff
Mhm.
here. One thing I want to start with ish is that saying where you say that you would be happy forever.
Ah, right. I mean, being happy forever is like a new thing for me, right?
Yeah.
I always talk about how I started in June this year, like
Yeah.
figuring out how to stay happy every day, like for the rest of my life. And the funny thing about it is, when you say stay happy, it looks like you're having to do a lot of stuff
Mm.
to make yourself
To
happy.
maintain
Yeah, but it's
that.
really not like that. Like the entire idea is to unburden yourself.
It's more like the opposite.
Do you understand? Like, sort of realize that there are no happy people. There's just people who propagate happiness,
Mm.
and there are no sad people. There's
Mm.
just people who propagate sadness. Like
Yeah.
sadness and happiness already
By
exist.
propagates, like feed the parts of them or the realities of their situation that makes them sad.
Basically, yeah, basically that. Like energies that exist already, and people just positions to be channels for
Mm.
that energy.
Mm.
So you can decide to only observe happiness, basically. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you won't
You
have
can
this.
decide to only observe happiness.
Yeah,
So at the end of the day, both realities exist in our lives every time.
completely,
Actually,
all the time.
there's something about your reality that can make you happy,
Mm-hmm.
and there's something about it that can make you sad.
Yeah,
So you're saying focus on the one that makes you happy.
yeah. I think the word focus also then means you have to
Do the
look
work.
for it. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. But the important thing is, it's not like there's no work to be done. It's just like you're just observing something that exists. That's
Mm.
the work, really. It's not like you have to do something. I think one of the men we both listen to,
Yeah.
Alan Watts, right, talks about how you know if you're meditating with a goal in mind, you're
You ruin the
ruining the
entire
process.
sense.
Exactly. So you just meditate to have fun, and that's the thing about happiness, and in that sense, like observe happiness just to have fun. Basically, like it's as simple as I sit down in my house, I order a meal on my Child Deck app, and I go downstairs to pick up that meal. And as soon as I get to the ground floor, the sun hits me, like the back of my neck. And I turn around to observe the sun, and I'm like, oh, sun, you're there. Thanks for being there. Like, I can feel the warmth of the sun, and that makes me happy.
Like paying attention enough to appreciate
The things that already exist,
the things that already exist.
basically.
And the catch is both the good and the bad, right? Understanding that the good and the bad are made from the same entity.
Completely.
It is its expression to you at the moment that is feeling to you as good or bad.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you have the idea, you start to want to live life from the viewpoint that life doesn't happen to you, neither does life happen for you. Life just happens.
Life happens.
Basically. Yeah.
Like
Life just
understanding how much you don't belong and how much you belong all at the same time.
Yeah, same time.
Existing on that spectrum of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So you it's like it's a superpower really to ever be that. It's like being able to take yourself out of every situation while still applying yourself to that situation.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're an observer.
For Shadi. She's moving thing.
Where was I don't remember. Okay, yeah. I was talking about life not happening for you,
Yeah,
life
yeah,
not
yeah,
happening to
yeah,
you,
yeah,
life
yeah.
just happening.
Yeah.
Basically. So the life happening for you bit is what people will say is the good. And life happening to you is what people say is the bad. You know, but you get to a point where you understand that good and bad are best friends. Right? Just putting up a show for you, basically. And you're an observer in the universe, like watching all of that happen.
So being able to take yourself out of the situation is controlling what emotion you give at all times, choosing the emotion.
Yeah.
But still being able to choose, in this case, we're talking happiness, choosing happiness regardless. Because as much as it is about you, everything happening, it is equally not about anything about you.
Yeah, like that's the conundrum that we get stuck in all the time. Like, you know, being able to completely distill that understanding and realizing that life is really just life, really, and life is just rolling out like every day. I think you have this video on your Instagram page, right, where you talked about somebody waking up and already waking up with a bad mood. You know, that's a perfect idea. You know, you could, you know, and the thing is, we also had this conversation where we're talking about how a lot of the times when we're kids and we're growing up, a lot of the things that we're told to do, we're just told to do them, but we're not told the reason. Yeah, like what is the secret behind like waking up in the morning and making your bed?
Yeah.
Basically, like very simple act, but you can find joy in that.
Yeah.
You can find happiness.
Understand that wake up in the morning, lay your bed thingy, because for me, over the last week or two, I paid attention to it. And I was just telling Keda, in fact, right before we started recording this video, that I've noticed that every day I wake up in the morning and I lay my bed first, I have a productive day. I'm not saying I have a good or a bad day, but I look back at my day and it's been productive. I've gotten things done. I think that act kind of activates your brain to be interested in what's necessary.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. So you tell the person, wake up in the morning, make your bed. You should also tell them stuff that goes a bit beyond that, to the point where you let them know that. So
this is the why.
This is why you should make your bed, basically. So it's not exactly like, you're making your bed to get happiness from it. Just make your bed.
Just make your bed. Just play your part.
Yeah, just play
I think what making your bed in the morning does is informing you to really just play your part.
Honestly, it's really simple, and that's the reason why it flies over a lot of people's heads, because you most of the time we think the thing that we want out of life is usually grand, like some big events that has to happen. But half the time it's really just in the simple things. Honestly, I don't know, you post a picture, a couple of people like your post, it's a good thing to be happy about. Speak to your friends.
To explain how much of what implies that it's in the simple things is, I see videos of people celebrating so hard on the day they graduate from the university. Their convocation.
Good point.
They're celebrating so hard, like, oh my God, I finally did it.
Yeah.
But like, it was that 20 marks score in your 100 level first semester that you passed to the exam that you failed, but you did what it took to pass. Like, that was where you were winning.
Yeah.
The reason why your happiness has only waited up until the day you celebrated, which is great, but like, you've suspended. It's like you're postponing your joy.
Happiness, exactly. You're postponing
because you're winning every day.
Yeah.
But you're postponing your joy till the big day.
The day when you're done.
But like, bro, yesterday you were in class. Last year you wrote an exam. You passed.
Honestly.
Like, you've been winning. Like, this win of you being given that certificate. Like,
it's a cumulative thing.
It's been happening since.
And that's the mistake we make. We postpone, just like you said, we postpone
that peace, that
and
joy.
Then we assume that happiness is a destination.
It's in that.
But the happiness is the journey. The journey every day. You wake up.
Is in the gratitude to each of those actions.
Everything.
That is taking you closer.
Everything. Like, you wake up, you go to class, you run into your friends, you go sit by some cafe, you grab a coffee, you speak to the girl you like. All that stuff. Every day.
Sometimes it's fun. Other times you guys are speaking emotional stuff as friends. You're crying. So you heard something from home. You know, it was bad news, or at least you thought it was. You picked the call, you cried, you sulked. Your friend was there to talk to you, pat your back. oh, 2 days, 3 days after your mom called you that it's all sorted,
Yeah.
and then you realize, oh, it was not really that much of a big deal, but at the time it was, and that is over. Can you at least be happy for that?
Exactly. I really think that that's and I put out a tweet recently where and I was like, oh my man, life is so sweet. I'm going to be happy forever. And a very close colleague of mine, Ademola, responded and he's like, and he was like, yes. And actually, that sort of brought me to a state where I think about Ademola and he's a very free guy, easygoing, happy dude, constantly happy. Like he's a back-end developer, really good at his shit. And you interact with Demola and you understand that Demola is really the kind of person that just makes the best use of life. Whatever happens, whatever comes. He goes to a party, he's having the best of fun.
Best of time.
Like, he's not even caring about shit.
I remember him from our party.
Like honestly, like he's having the best of time. And that's really where the secret is.
Yeah.
And just so it's also not a scenario where you're lazy, you're laid back.
No,
it's none of that. No, it's none of that. It's you're fully present,
So what that does is, yes, fully present, right? So it is nothing close to complacency. It's a situation where you expend yourself, and when it is not required for you to, you move. So you're not brooding on things that you can't. Imagine how much time we waste on worrying about things we can't do anything about.
Bro, so much time, so much energy. Because we also forget that our energy as humans is finite. Like we will not always have energy. Like when the energy runs out.
An example of that is the fact that we'll die.
Exactly. We run out.
So one day will be over.
Honestly. So it's a being aware of the fact that the entire dance comes to an end eventually, and then enjoying the dance. Like
it's crazy how that thought process makes you want to do the two things, abundantly enjoy it, and also still manage it.
Honestly. Yeah.
Like it's doing those two things. It's being flamboyant, extravagant, letting it all go. Completely. The leisure, the pleasure of it, and also still managing it. Because I think with life generally, what's always wrong is people always lean to one side of the extreme.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And you learn over time that life is really about dancing.
Really.
Life is really about dancing. You dance into the sad days, you dance into the good days.
But make sure you are dancing.
You have to be dancing, man.
Make sure you're going back. Make sure you don't get comfortable on one end of the extreme. You wake up one day and it's obvious that you're just living your life like every day is the last. Like you're careless, you're selfish, you're on that, because we still teach that, bro, look out for yourself, be selfish with your time, but in the midst of that teaching, there's a part on the other side where you have to give.
Completely.
I think the entire hard work of truly living a great life, like I always say, is in the balance of it. When people hear balance, what they think about is, let's assume the spectrum is here, is that they're standing directly
in the middle. Yeah, it's not
that's what they think.
It's never that.
But even in math, when we're calculating median, we take everything,
and then we divide.
And then divide it by. So what you're supposed to achieve in a balance is your median, not your everyday.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're leaning on the left side.
You also have that video where you talked about a graph.
Yes, the curve.
Completely, exactly that. On some days it's 30%. On other days it's 70% on the other side. Some people are, you're on Instagram, you're scrolling to your phone, you're seeing someone having an exciting moment. They're on the crest of that curve.
In that part of their life.
Do you understand? They're on the crest of it, and that same person is going to go through life. Like life is going to calm down and then go up again for them. The entire so I think there's this phrase that I've heard a lot of times. People talk about positive toxicity, right? Where you're just constantly feigning positivity, where you're like, I always win, I never lose. Man, there's nothing wrong with losing. There's really nothing wrong with making mistakes. It's what you do when you make those mistakes that really counts. What you do when you lose. So you should lose, you should make mistakes, you should learn from your mistakes. You should be smiling while you're learning.
But you know what's crazy? Toxic positivity is some type of delusion, right? Some type of delusion. But me and you also agree that to attain some type of not to attain some type of success. There are some people who the reason why they will touch success is because of their delusion.
Definitely, definitely. We talk about delusion a lot in this house,
Yeah,
like all the time. We talk about how everybody's deluded in one
yeah,
way or the other.
yeah,
Religion is some type of delusion.
yeah.
People are deluded that they are the best in
This
the world.
conversation we're having is some type of delusion.
Exactly. People are convinced that they are the best in the world. They're
Yeah,
deluded, but
yeah,
that delusion is going to get them what they
yeah,
want,
yeah,
because that same person is not going to just lay back and say, "Oh, I've arrived." They're going to try to put in the work, right?
yeah. So what the delusion does for you, so you don't just, that's when it stays as toxic positivity.
Yeah,
When the delusion is not a motivation.
it's not. Yeah, exactly. You're just saying it.
You're just saying
Exactly.
it. For people like Steve Jobs, the delusion was a motivation.
It was a motivation. Like he knew what he wanted
to do.
Yeah, he knew
it was impossible. It was up in his head. Head was in the cloud. He was maybe an asshole.
Yeah,
but he kept on going at it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You know, like another friend of mine. She has this. She's basically the one I got the whole Delulu thing from. She's always been talking about Delulu like since I've known her, and
so Gen Z.
And she uses it a lot. She's completely delusional about her work, like in the sense that she believes that she's the best in the world, and because of that, she puts in the work to be the best.
Yeah.
So it's how you use these things that actually matter.
It's the dance, my G.
Yeah, that dance, man.
It's the dance, my G. It's the dancing around. It's how well you can dance around it that implies that you're. I don't want to say that you're positive, but that you're happy.
Yeah.
Is how you can dance around.
Yeah,
it.
The dancing is what gives you happiness.
I think with everything we said, one thing is constant. Life is a
dance,
and you're learning more skills. Sometimes the skills are becoming outdated. Sometimes you stumbled on a new skill earlier than everybody. I'm thinking about like a TikTok trend, like a TikTok dance trend. How there's always a TikTok dance trend, right?
Yeah.
So it's like true life. There's always the dance to dance.
Yeah, there's always something.
Even in the TikTok trend, there are some dances you will do that will go viral that will not have gone viral because of it was new. It went viral because you were good at it. It's an old dance step. Like,
yeah, but you did it differently. Yeah, completely. That's it. Life's a dance all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, and others, that's about it here on This Was Dope Timeout with Dio, the Menokafo.
That's what's up.
And of course, homeboy on Onadeko.
Yeah.
Catch you.
And of course,
Kedanti.